What is up, guys? It's Mike here, and today we're going to be ranking and reviewing Mix 18 of the 2021 Spinmaster Monster Jam trucks. Alright, so we finally got all in Mix 18. It took a little bit of time, a lot longer than what it was supposed to, but that's okay. That's okay. We finally got it. So a lot of people still don't have these or found any of them. I was very lucky enough to find them in Walmart in my toy hunt video, and when I actually went out looking for it, I wasn't even looking for Mix 18. I was looking for, what's it, Mix 19? I don't know. It was just kind of weird how everything is. But Mix 18, it's a pretty solid mix here. As you look into the, obviously we have the chase piece, the Megalodon, but we look at the back of the card art here, and we got a Dragonoid that was pretty cool. We finally got a cool Crustacean with an awesome story behind it. That thing is hands down maybe one of the best trucks this year. Then we finally got a newer and an updated higher education casting, which is pretty cool. Then we got a Gravedigger, which is basically the elemental one, which is pretty nice. And then we got a Scooby-Doo, a nice Max Contracts Blue Thunder, a Reckless Max D, and then of course probably one of the top trucks of this year, the BroCamino or Camino, which is pretty cool. And then we have this would have been the fourth chase piece for 2021, the Megalodon Showtime truck. So all said and done, pretty solid case. So this one, I don't think it's going to be the top case of 2021, but I would say it might be in the top three, and there's three really good trucks here. So if you haven't found this case yet, it is starting to make its way into Walmart. I know there was some at the beginning of December, late November, and recently the Walmarts and Targets in my areas, they don't have anything. They have been completely out of stock on not just Monster Jam, but Hot Wheels diecast cars, just everything. And I don't know what's going on with it, but it's been really an issue the past, I would say, 2 weeks, just trying to find anything. But with that being said, we're going to start this off right. We are going to rank these in the order that my personal opinion, my least favorite to my favorite truck in this mix, and it's none other. So let's just start this off with the last truck I think that this mix could have probably did without, and that's none other than this truck right here. And here it is, right here, truck number 9 for Mix 18. It's none other than Scooby-Doo. So Scooby-Doo, this truck really, we haven't seen it a lot this year. It missed out on the Breaking World Records. It missed out on the Gears and Galaxy. It did not have any part in the Dirty to Clean series. And this was the only version of this truck that we saw this year in 2021. Which is kind of interesting. Scooby-Doo, you would think it would be more of a popular truck. But, yeah, kind of interesting they did nothing else with it. I don't know if they really couldn't do that much with it, but maybe a Dirty the Clean truck would have been kind of cool. We did see a, Reveal the Steel version of the truck last year with the Mystery Machine, which was pretty cool, but kind of interesting. And we didn't even get a 2-pack this year of the Mystery Machine and Scooby-Doo, so that's kind of interesting as well. But nonetheless, it is a different looking Scooby-Doo than what we previously seen. The last one, I believe, had turquoise rims, basically the color of the wheelie bar, and I think it did have BKT on the tires as well. But nonetheless, a pretty cool truck, and it is a truck member of the Rough Crowd. So with that being said, let's crack this guy open and take a look. And now I haven't opened really any of these trucks. I did get BroCamino, but I didn't open it. I actually had it sent in the mail. So here's the poster down here, which Mix 21 doesn't seem to have a lot of posters in their trucks, which is interesting. But yeah, let's see what the poster is. Alright, so this is actually the first time I am actually opening the poster here. So let's take a look. And the poster boy is none other than Blue Thunder. So that's pretty cool. We got Blue Thunder doing a wheelie. I don't know if you guys can see it. Next year I am going to have a bigger box so we can see more stuff. And of course on the back of the poster it is the entire Mix 18, which Mix 18 pretty solid. I mean, a lot of good trucks here, so... But, sadly for Scooby-Doo, we didn't see a lot of it, and that's kind of heartbreaking, because I kind of expected to see a little bit more of Scooby-Doo, but that's okay, though. I mean, cool looking truck. I honestly think the truck from last year with the doubles looked a lot better than this one. Let me just try to get the truck to stay. But, yeah, this one, I like the chassis. I like the color of the chassis. I like I guess the wheelie bar is kind of cool. But the rims, the roll cage, I don't know, I mean, it's the second time they really kind of did Scooby-Doo in a way, and I like that they changed it up, but my personal preference is I do like the one that came in a double pack with the Mystery Machine. I think that one just looks a little bit better. However, hopefully in 2022, we can see more of this truck, because there is a lot of things they could possibly do with it. It'd be kind of cool if they made a zombie Scooby-Doo or something off the wall or something weird like that. That'd be kind of cool and unique. But nonetheless, decent looking truck. Glad to see Scooby-Doo still under contract, and I really hope to see more of this truck in the future, hopefully. Alright, so the next truck in this list might be a truck that's very popular, but in this mix we've seen it 5 times this year, and this is basically, it kind of looks the same as we saw it the very first time we ever got it, and it's none other than Dragonoid. So we've seen Dragonoid now a couple times this year. We saw the black, or the purple and black and green one, which was in mix 16 or 17, which was an absolute, that thing looks amazing. And then we ended up seeing it as a elemental truck with wind, which was kind of odd. Then it also did get its own playset, and then we also did see the Gears and Galaxy, and now we have this version of the truck as well. So the reason why this truck sits so low is because it's basically, if you go all the way back to, I believe, mix 5 of 2019, maybe, or 2020. I think it's mix 5. I can't remember. But the truck basically looks identical. There's really not that much difference, and that's the only reason why I'm going to rank this truck low in this mix. Now, personally, I love Dragonoid. I think the truck is awesome. I love how it's Spinmaster's own truck and basically their flagship truck. But, yeah, I mean, there's only so much they can do with it. You know, last year in 2020 for Mix 9, we had the Gold Edition one. It'd be cool to see if they continue the trends like that. If I think Dragonoid didn't have its own playset, or if the playset truck was a little different, this would be probably ranked a little higher, because this one is the closest thing this year that we got to the realistic truck. So with that being said, let's open the final Dragonoid for 2021. And here it is. Now, this is not the final Dragonoid, obviously this is Mix 18, but this is the last Dragonoid that I am getting for 2021, because I cannot find Mix 20 or Mix 19, but yeah, nonetheless, a cool looking truck, and the truck is just like all the other Dragonoids. It's got the horn that moves right here, which is a little harder to move, and it also has the arms that can move, which is a nice little added touch, and the wings that can move up and down that are basically a hard plastic. But, yeah, Dragonoid, definitely one of the more popular trucks. This one, like I said, it's just... There's other trucks better in the case. It's already something we kind of seen already, and that's really the only reason why it's low for me. This truck does have a black chassis with a black roll cage, a black wheelie bar with a red wheel, and then red beadlock and rims. So nonetheless, pretty cool. One thing they probably could have did was maybe put the white PKT on the rim or on the tire, but nonetheless, I'm liking the whole black and red theme here, but that's about it. That's really all this Dragonoid has going for it. It does have the green eye as normal, but there it is, your normal looking Dragonoid in the single packs, besides really the playset version. Oh, and it also was included in the Target exclusive 9-pack, but I believe it was the purple, black, and green Dragonoid that we saw. I want to say that was Mix 17. Yeah, that's also in the Target exclusive. Before moving on to the next truck, I just want to say Dragonoid should have been in the Breaking World Records. That would have been cool if they put it in the Breaking World Records set compared to a single repeat, basically. But nonetheless, moving on to the next truck, it is none other than the truck we've only seen a couple times this year, shockingly. I believe we only saw it 4 times. But the reason why this one's going to be ranked higher than Dragonoid is the fact that it is a new theme. It is something that looks pretty cool, and it's none other than the Blue Thunder Contracts, or max contracts, which I like that. I really like how Spinmaster made these white trucks. I think it's a pretty cool, unique design that came out of nowhere, and I like how all the trucks in it are trucks that we haven't really seen that much this year. So this is honestly the only time we are seeing Blue Thunder in the main series as a single pack. We also did see Blue Thunder in the doubles with Gears and Galaxy. I believe it was a Gears truck. And we also did see it in the Dirty to Clean with, I believe, Fully Charged. Now, there is another Blue Thunder single truck. However, it is the reduced detail truck, which is pretty hard to find. I actually ended up finding that in the stores in the mall, in one of those, like when you walk through the mall and it's like in that middle section, and it's like a small little thing. That's the only time we saw Blue Thunder, so the truck hasn't really been that much known for this year. Kind of interesting, but it is a nice looking contracts truck and max contracts. Right, so here it is out of the package, none other than the second max contracts truck for this year, and I believe the first one was Dragon, and I am lucky enough to actually have Dragon next to me here. So these things are pretty cool. I like them. Now, the only other 2 trucks that are with max contracts, I believe, are Gravedigger and Earthshaker. Now, I believe those are in Mix 19 Earthshaker and Mix 20 Gravedigger, which I have yet to find Mix 20. I do have the Earthshaker somewhere, but yeah, pretty cool. So I do like what Spinmaster did here with the max contracts, how the trucks are all white. All of them have white tires with a black rim and black beadlock, with a black roll cage, a white chassis, a white tinted transparent windshield, which is pretty cool, a white wheelie bar with a black tire, and I just really like it. I like the details. It reminds me of the older trucks, and I think Spinmaster did a good job. Now, they picked 2 trucks to come out first that were kind of, I mean, Dragon you can get away with. Blue Thunder, there's a lot of detailing with the black and the lightning. I really like that. I like the detailing on the grill and the headlights. I also love how they put the Monster Jam logo there as well. And I also like what they did with the back tail lights as well, making them all black. Now, Blue Thunder, we haven't really seen this truck this much this year. We did see it in a double pack with Fully Charged. We did see it with the reduced version, which is in like malls and like CVS's. And that's the only other singles truck there is for Blue Thunder. And then we saw it as a Gears and Galaxy in a 2-pack. So kind of interesting. The only Blue Thunder truck with the normal paint scheme is the reduced version, which doesn't have the headlights or the tail lights. And then the one that looks identical to the truck in real life is the Dirty to Clean. So very interesting with that. Interesting choice for Blue Thunder. This is one of my favorite trucks. I remember growing up with Lyle Hancock, I believe. Used to drive it, you know, in the early 2000s. Always be up there. It was always up there with Gravedigger and Team Mintz or Goldberg at the time. But pretty cool. I like to see Blue Thunder, and hopefully we can see more of Blue Thunder later on in the future. Alright, so the next truck on this list is going to be a truck that's in every single mix, and it's none other than the Elemental Gravedigger. So this was actually the very first truck I found from this mix, and I was actually given a hint on where to find this. So if you guys know this or you guys collect, between Mix 17's release and basically till now, Mix 18, Mix 19, Mix 20 definitely, and, well, not so much Mix 21, but the trucks have been so hard to find. I actually got this truck in August. Before I went to Wildwood, and I actually ended up getting it at a food store, a grocery store, named Wegmans, and they had 2 of these, and that was the newest truck I had for the longest time, and it took all the way from August, all the way to about the first week of December to get the rest of this mix. It has been a ride. So it took 4 months almost to find all of Mix 18 and 19. So hopefully you guys can find it. But the reason why this truck sits so low on this list is because it just reminds me of the Fire Gravedigger. It really does. So let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alright, so the Fire Elemental Gravedigger. So this was kind of interesting because there are a ton of Gravediggers, and usually I say how many versions of the truck got released, but Gravedigger is Monster Jam's flagship truck, so it's everywhere, and I'm not going to count every single Gravedigger because there's probably like 20 of them, if not more. But this is pretty cool. So the main reason why this truck did rank higher than Blue Thunder and Dragonoid is because we never saw it. Now, we did see a Fire Elemental Gravedigger or a Fire Gravedigger from the Fire and Ice, but it was a little different. This Gravedigger is a little different with the paint. This one's not as orange. As you can tell, there is a little more... Oh, the truck doesn't roll. Look at that. Huh. That was weird. Okay, so, yeah. We did see a... Gravedigger from Fire and Ice that was a little more of the orangey color. As you can tell with this Gravedigger, it does have more like a maroon color on the where the black used to be. Now, I do like how it still has the same chassis, basically the orange tires with the flames on it, the orange roll cage, the black rims with the black beadlock. The headlights are still red. The wheelie bar is a red with an orange wheel. Wow, this is crazy. I can't believe the back tires don't spin. Very interesting. I'm gonna have to crack this truck open and see what's up with that. But yeah, very interesting here. Oh wow, you can actually see the axle coming out through the tire right there. Oh wow, let's try to get that on camera. So yeah, let's see if we can get it for you guys. I don't know if you can see it, but you see that shiny piece right there? Very interesting. That's the first time I've ever opened a truck and had that happen. So I'm going to take that away from the truck being the truck, but pretty cool truck nonetheless. I do like the color of it. It is something different. It is something we haven't seen. A lot of people would complain that, hey, we got a fire version of the truck, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. I like this paint job a little better. I do like the maroon on the body. Kind of interesting how back tires are messed up, but nonetheless a pretty cool looking different Gravedigger, and it is a little different from the Fire and Ice. If this was just a copy and paste of the Fire and Ice body on this, then this truck would have been last in this whole ranking because it just would have been a copy and paste. But now let's move on to the top trucks. Alright, and now we're getting into the top 5 trucks for this case, and I honestly think these are pretty challenging here. Well, especially after this next truck. So coming in at number 5 is none other than Max D, and this is the Reckless version of Max D. This is also the very last Reckless truck that Spinmaster is going to make, which honestly I think they did a great job. I like the Reckless trucks. They were something really cool, something different. The Gravedigger one looked awesome. The El Toro one looked awesome. I think it was a really cool idea. I think it was awesome how they put different versions of the truck body together, and it had that like graveyard feel. And also like the double decker, and I liked the Scavenger truck. Those were really cool and unique designs. So they're going to end it off with Max D, which is pretty cool. This was actually one of the more common trucks from Mix 18. If you saw my toy hunt video from a month ago, this one was basically everywhere, besides like one target. But after we found it, we found a lot of them. But nonetheless, I hate to see the Reckless theme go. I do like it. I don't know if they can really do anything else with it. I mean, yeah, they can make different trucks, a couple different trucks, but I'm really going to hate to see it go. So with that being said, let's open the very last Reckless truck that Spinmaster is going to make. So here it is out of the package, the very last Reckless truck, and one thing I like about this is they did make it on the front engine chassis. I believe every Team Mints, even Max D, and somehow, if Goldberg ever gets made, I think that's going to be a staple for Max D now. It's just a front engine chassis, which I like it. I think it looks great. One thing I like about this truck is obviously it has different color rims on it, basically showcasing all the different versions of Max D. And the thing I really like about it is you got this gold or bronze rim right here, kind of a throwback to when the truck was Team Mints or Goldberg. Then you have the normal rim right here with the gray, and on this side you have the red rim from the I don't know because I didn't watch Monster Jam around that time, but the red Max D, and then you have the yellow rim from the yellow Max D. And then looking at the top of the truck, obviously the red panels are from that red version. You got right here the current version on the back. And then in the front, you have the Max D logo, which is split in two different ways, which I think that's pretty cool. Then you have the black version, the yellow version. The fenders look to be the red version. The taillights are actually not painted, which is interesting. And yeah, so basically you got, from the looks of it, you got the tire from the Team Mint Goldberg era. You got the red Max D. You got right here the current Max D, the silver one. And you have the yellow one. So you got three Max Ds fused in together. You got the front engine chassis. And you have a gray chassis, front engine roll cage, I should say. And you have a wheelie bar that is a little different because this is a different chassis and this is a different roll cage. The wheelie bar is a little different from the other ones that are currently on the rear engine trucks, which is interesting. But all said and done, it's a nice looking truck. It's a very nice solid piece. And like I said, we really didn't see Max D that much this year. We saw two versions of the truck in the singles, which is this version, and I believe a legacy version for Mix 19. And then we saw a couple times with the double packs with, I believe, the World Finals 17 version, and we saw a Team Mint version with Bulldozer, which is in the newest packs. And then we saw it with, what was it, the Gears and Galaxy. It was a Gears truck, which that truck was pretty cool looking. And then we saw it as the Breaking World Finals. And if you were lucky, you did see a Stadium double pack with this truck, well, the normal Max D and Gravedigger. So Max D had a good year in 2021, ends on a good note. I don't believe there was one for Mix 21, but Mix 20, I don't think there's one in there. So this could possibly be the last Max D for 2021, and also the last Reckless truck, so that's pretty cool as well. And I just realized the Max D logos on the sides are different as well. The World Final 17 Max D right there. So pretty cool, I like that. I really am going to miss this Reckless theme. Spinmaster, you guys did a great job with it. If it comes back, one idea, kind of like how they made Savager and Double Decker, just take stuff and fuse it together. Maybe fuse together like Gravedigger's front end with like El Toro's horns or something like that, like a mashup of trucks. That would be kind of cool. But now let's move on to the top 4 trucks. Alright, so now it's getting to the hard pickings, but I think I really firmly believe this truck is the truck that should take number 4 at least. The next 3 trucks above this are just too good. But the truck coming in at number 4 is none other than this chase piece, and it's the Megalodon. So Megalodon is one of the lucky trucks along with Gravedigger, I believe El Toro, and Earthshaker to have a chase piece every single year so far. So we had the ride trucks, or we had the training trucks first, which the Megalodon training truck looked awesome with the color on the rims and everything. Then we had the ride trucks, which the Megalodon ride truck was pretty cool, you gotta admit. And now we have the Showtime truck. So the reason why this truck ranks high is because I love the way it looks. I really do. And I'm not just saying that for the shark, because I'm a huge shark guy, but I really love the blue rims. I love the blue shocks, and I love the engine painted. This looks so nice and so good that I just had to rank it a little higher. Also because it is a chase piece, and this honestly is one of the hardest chase pieces to find. This was the last truck I needed for this mix, and I honestly had to go to eBay to find it because I couldn't find it anywhere else. And the funny story with this truck is if you look at the reduced price trucks, it looks just like this, just minus the paint on the rims, or minus the paint on the shocks and the motor. I thought I found the truck. It wasn't it. It was a reduced price truck, and that's also why I like it, because just the story behind it and trying to find this thing. But this would have been the 4th chase piece of... No, this would have been the 3rd? No, 4th? Hang on. We had Gravedigger, El Toro. Yep, this would have been the 3rd chase piece of 2021, and not a bad chase piece. So let's crack this thing open and take a closer look. Alright, so here it is out of the box, and this is actually the 7th Megalodon we have seen this year. Now, Gravedigger, there are a ton of Gravediggers. However, Megalodon, there's 7, so there's quite a bit. So we had a play version, or playset version, the Car Wash or Monster Wash with Megalodon. We had one with the Dirty to Clean. We actually had 2 with the Dirty to Clean. One came with Pirate's Curse, the other came with Octonator. So that's interesting that Megalodon actually had 2 versions in the Dirty to Clean. We also had the reduced version, which is basically this truck minus the shocks and the wheelie bar and the painted motor. Then we also had the Galaxy truck, which was pretty awesome. That came with Max D. Then we had the World Records truck, and then we had the Sheer Madness truck, and then obviously the Chase piece, which is this one right here. But I gotta say, this one might be the best looking Megalodon, besides, I would say, probably the Galaxy one. I think this one looks very well put together. I love that rim color. I love how the BKT shines. I love how they made that same blue for the wheelie bar as well. And it does have a black wheel on the wheelie bar. The thing that sold me on this, and this might be my favorite chase piece for 2021, because this thing just looks awesome. I love that blue. It just flows so nice with the whole Megalodon theme. I love how it's a gray chassis with a black roll cage, and I don't know, it's just something about it. It just flows very, very nicely done. It really great color choice by Spinmaster. I mean, that blue looks so good, and honestly, out of all the blues that Spinmaster make, I think that might be my favorite blue. The way it pops with certain trucks, and especially on the shocks and that motor and those rims, it just looks so good. This honestly might be my favorite chase piece, and it's not even because it's one of my favorite trucks. It's just because it looks very well put together, and the color palette on it is very nicely done. Very awesome truck. Really, really cool. Definitely one of the hardest trucks to find. eBay, they're going for like $40, so I would stay away from eBay. I was lucky enough to find one for $25, which that's still quite a bit, but it is a chase piece. Hopefully these are in stores now. This case is in the store in Walmart's, but they are really hard to find still, especially with everything being out and sold out. So hopefully if you were lucky enough to find one or trade it with somebody, you got one. But a very cool looking Megalodon. Really awesome. And actually, looking at Megalodon here, I noticed something different with his eye. Let's see here. So, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but the eye is not a solid black. Very interesting. Turn the truck to this side, and the eye is a solid black. So, very interesting. I wonder if anyone else has that issue with their chase piece Megalodon. That's kind of interesting that that's like that. I just noticed that. Intriguing. But now let's move on to truck number 3. So the truck coming at number 3 is a truck we haven't seen in a very long time, and I think it's very long overdue. There was supposed to be a version of the truck released last year, but there was issues with the color palette. But I think this truck does deserve to be number 3 because we haven't seen it in so long, and it's none other than Higher Education. And the other reason why this truck is ranked high is because it's not the same Higher Education from 2019. It is a total brand new up-to-date casting with the truck or how it looks like in person and real life. That is awesome. So Higher Education came out in 2019, and it never came out as a singles pack. It was a double pack. I believe, I don't remember who it was with. It was a double pack from 2019, and at the time the truck was the heaviest and the biggest casting that Spinmaster made. And there were issues with the casting and other things along those lines, but that's okay because now Spinmaster has fixed it, and the truck is finally here, and it's up to date, and the truck looks better than ever. So, Higher Education came out 2019. It was a double pack. I can't remember what truck it was with because it's been so long. And honestly, I forgot about this truck. I totally forgot that Spinmaster had the license for it. We got one truck, and no, actually, I'm sorry, there was 2 that came out in 2019. There was the double pack, and there was an inverse truck where all the yellow was black and all the yellow was black, or whatever, you know what I mean. And that was a singles, and that was the last time we saw it. That's the last time we ever saw Higher Education. It was supposed to get a Reveal the Steel last year with Brodozer, but that was actually canceled because the color palette, the yellow trucks, wasn't really working, I guess, with the Reveal the Steel. And if you remember back then, the Max D, the Gold Max D, it kind of, you know, when it was Reveal the Steel. But it came back, and I can't wait to open this thing to look at this thing and see if it's still heavy. It might be one of the heaviest castings that Spinmaster has made, but I really want to look at this truck. And this truck also did get released with the Dirty the Clean, which I happen to have right next to me. Alright, so this is pretty cool. So Higher Education comes with this little plastic insert right here. That's the first time I've ever seen something like that for a 164 scale. I know on the 124 scales, the Megalodon has like a plastic thing over the, basically the dorsal fin of the truck, but yeah, that's pretty unique. So here it is. This is pretty cool. So we did see this truck, depending when you got this case. If you were lucky enough to get this mix when it first got released, then you got this one before the Dirty the Clean truck. But this is pretty cool. So here they both are. Two brand new Higher Educations with the brand new castings. Awesome. Just awesome work by Spinmaster. A truck I completely forgot about. The truck that dominated the racing league because of its weight. And the truck is still pretty relatively heavy. It's not as heavy as the first version of the truck back in 2019, but it is still a little up there on the weight. I like how they updated the stop sign here. Now on this truck, the stop sign was bent a little down like that, but you can move it. It is a little bit of a harder plastic. Now on my inverse truck, it did lose the stop sign, so they did make it a little thicker on this one, and I believe they did make it thicker on this one as well. And this truck does have a gray chassis with a black roll cage, yellow rims in a B-lock, a gray wheelie bar, and a yellow tire. Very well put together, very cool looking, very awesome. I can't believe Spinmaster brought Higher Education back. When this truck was canceled for the double packs for the Reveal the Steel, I didn't think we were ever going to see it again. You know, there was that thing with Wonder Woman where they couldn't make Wonder Woman anymore, and then we weren't seeing this truck, and I thought this was going to be, that was going to be it, you know? But I'm glad to see Higher Education back. I can't wait to see if they're going to do something different with the truck this year, if they're going to make it into a theme, or maybe another release, or max contracts. So it is pretty cool though. We did finally now get a casting that was up to date to the normal truck, with the door here, the headlights up here, or the school bus, cool bus, all that. You got the brake lights on the back. It's pretty cool. I love to see this. If it wasn't for these next two trucks, this might be the best truck in this case, but pretty awesome to see this. I'm really happy this truck is back. Now, this is a tough decision because both these trucks, one is a brand new casting that we never seen Spinmaster make. The other one is a casting that we seen Spinmaster make, but a cool story behind it. But I'm gonna have to go with this truck at number 2 because we never seen it before, and the story behind truck number 1 is just insane. So here it is, truck number 2 on my list. It's none other than the BroCamino, and this is awesome. So this thing finally got released. There was a huge debate on when this thing would get released, if it would ever get made, and Spinmaster did it. So in my case, we got the Breaking World Records trucks before we got the Mix 18 trucks, and that's okay. This was definitely one of the hardest to find for Mix 18. Now, you might be saying to yourself, where was the package? This is the second truck I got for Mix 18. I got it from a good friend on the Monster Jam collecting group, and he didn't have it packaged, he had it open. So this was the second truck I got in this case, and this thing is just pretty cool. I love the detailing on it. I love how it's a brand new casting. Now, we only seen the truck twice this year with the Breaking World Records and this version of the truck, so it's going to be interesting to see if they do anything else with it. I do like how they put the roll bar and all the lights and everything up here on the top. I do like the color. They got everything really right on this. The headlights, I don't know if they have licensing to make a Camino, but hey, it looks pretty legit. And that's the main thing. You got the little brush girl here. I mean, for the fact that they made this truck out of nowhere and no one really saw it coming, it's pretty cool. It's kind of like what they did with for 2022 for the first case or the first mix. They're gonna have Lumberjack in it. No one really saw that coming, so I like that Spinmaster's doing that. I like how they're moving towards more like the independent trucks and trucks that are not as known and stuff, so that is pretty cool. And it's going to be interesting to see if they do anything else with this truck. Maybe a new theme for the Walmarts, but yeah, definitely ranked high because it's something we've never seen before, and honestly, it looks very well put together, very well done, and really there's nothing I can complain about it. I mean, it looks very solid. So now let's move on to truck number. Right. So there's only one truck left. There's only one truck of this truck that got released in 2021, and the story behind it is probably one of the coolest stories, and it's reasons like this that I think Spinmaster has such a big following, and it just shows that Spinmaster cares about their customer, their fans, and all that. So the number one truck, in my opinion, and probably a ton of other people's, is none other than the Crustacean for 2021. And this is such a cool piece, and not just because it's the only time we're seeing Crustacean this year. We did get one that was blue and we did get one that was red last year in 2020, but this one, the whole story behind it is just something really honestly insane. So as you guys know, we had the OCD Meltdown truck, which was basically designed by Ryan or Monster Jam OCD, who basically, him and Tyler or Monster Jam Customs, I believe, they designed that together, which was pretty cool, and that's a whole different story, but that's awesome. And as you guys do know, if you're in the Facebook group or you're in the community, a lot of people customize trucks, and there are a ton of people who paint trucks, customize trucks, and put the time and effort into that. Now, I do customize some of them, and I can tell you guys, I'm nowhere on the level as some other guys, but the amount of detail that a lot of people put into it is insane. And probably one of the top customizers in the community is Digger's Diecast, and I am lucky enough to have one of the Gravediggers that he customized right here. So this is something really cool. So he actually took a Crustacean and made it a raw Crustacean, which was basically this paint job, and what they did was they turned it into a reality, and I love Spinmaster for that. It's something like that that makes me love it more. Now, the only difference is, if you look at his Crustacean, he obviously customized it a little better. I have a Gravedigger here that he gave me that he customized, and you can just tell the amount of detailing in his custom trucks is insane. The shocks, the motor, him, Savage Customs, those guys, their detailing on some of their trucks, which I do have a Savage Custom truck right here as well, you can just tell these guys detailing on these things are insane. He even made this truck to have the actual two-wheel drive function and took out the drive shaft. So Savage Customs, that's pretty cool. But people like this in the community that customize these trucks, this Crustacean is like the holy grail, because even though the shocks and the rims, the shocks and the motor's not painted, the whole body art, that was all thought of by Digger's Diecast, and that is awesome. And the fact that he customized it and they made it, and the camera died right there, but the fact that he customized it and they made it is pretty cool. And even though they didn't paint the shocks on it or anything, that's okay. Just the fact that they did that. Now, this truck is real. This was a real truck that Digger's Diecast decided to turn one of their Crustaceans, I think either the red or blue one, whatever one came out first, and he stripped the paint and he basically made it. But with that being said, I want to open this truck because this is something so cool that he made that and then they made it. So let's take a look here. And here it is, guys, my number one truck for Mix 19, the Crustacean. Now, this truck does exist in real life, and the fact that basically Digger's Diecast customized it, and then out of nowhere, Spinmaster made it, that's pretty cool. So, there could be two stories of it, because the truck is real, but I really think, they took a lot of notes from the guys that customized everything, and you know, the trucks that are the chase pieces this year with the painted shocks and the painted motor. I mean, it's just so cool. It's cool how everything just comes full circle with that. But this truck alone is really awesome. I think this is the best looking Crustacean. Now, I did like the red one. I thought the red one was a little cool, but after seeing this, it's awesome. It really is cool. It shows the detail. It shows what Spinmaster can do, and this is what I like to see. This is what a lot of people like to see. And Spinmaster, you know, they're going into their 4th year now in 2022, and honestly, besides maybe like 2 trucks, honestly, like 2 or 3 trucks, I think maybe that was it. And those ones weren't even done bad. They were just like a weird color palette, if you will. But I really think, you know, just the way the community is, just the way that they're doing the fan-inspired truck, and it's a cool time to be collecting any type of monster trucks, really. I mean, Hot Wheels stepped up their game because they had to. You know, there's new trucks coming out day and night, but it's cool. It's really nice. But this truck, I really like the way this looks. I like the detailing on it. I like the little crustacean on the back here. They got the little dog here, which is pretty funny. One cool thing I kind of wish they did, if Digger's Diecast had like a logo, I'm pretty sure they would have put it on. But you know, I keep saying that he came up with that Crustacean, and I know it's a real truck, but he did customize it, and there was like that whole thing going around where he was basically the inspiration for this truck to get made into a diecast, and that's pretty cool. And I think what happened was when Spinmaster saw that, you know, they came up with the idea for the painted shocks for the Showtime trucks and the motors too. But nonetheless, I really like this truck. I really like the story behind it. I really like the way it's painted. I really like the way it looks. And yeah, I mean, it's just pretty cool. Definitely one of my favorite trucks. Probably in my top 5 for 2021. I will be making a top 10 video. It will come out very shortly. I just gotta get everything situated. But with that being said, guys, yeah, pretty cool, guys. That's gonna wrap it up for Mix 18. Let me just make sure, right? Yep, Mix 18. It was definitely a hard mix to find. Lots of good trucks. I think this mix might be a little stronger than Mix 21. Yeah, it took me almost like 4 months to get everything here. That's insane, and I don't know if that's just because of the shipping issues or whatever the case may have been, but lots of strong trucks, higher education, BroCamino. That Crustacean is so beautiful. That Megalodon chase piece just looks awesome. Even the Blue Thunder. I mean, there's a lot of strong trucks in this case, and I think this mix might be a top 3 mix for this year. But with that being said, let me know in the comments if you like the Megalodon. Maybe you thought the Fire Gravedigger was the best. Maybe you're a huge fan of Dragonoid, and Dragonoid's the best one. But let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and I shall see you guys all very soon with another video. Probably a top 10 video. So I will see you guys very shortly.